What's going on, everyone? Rescue J here with episode 12 of the Rescueality Podcast. This time, we're talking about what it's like running a rescue here in Mexico. And I've said that in almost, if not every episode. And it's not hyperbole. I'm physically located in the country of Mexico. That's where my ranch is. It's where we rescue the dogs from. That's where our vet is. We do everything in Mexico. The only thing we don't do in Mexico really is we adopt out into the U.S. So running a rescue here in Mexico, I guess I should start with why am I in Mexico? For one, prices down here are much cheaper in most aspects. Land, resources, by far the biggest being vet care. And I know a lot of people are kind of skeptical of vet care down here, which, to be fair, there are some not very good vets down here. We have a couple vets that we work with that are very good quality, and we're very happy with them. But it's fairly the same as if you were in the U.S. They still have to have an education. It's actually a fairly long education as well. They're doctors. It's not like it's someone off the street, and we only go to established places. But being down here, being on the ranch here, all the vet care, there's a lot of rescues and a lot of organizations and humane societies and shelters that are up in the States. Now, a lot of them, especially humane societies and shelters, not to throw shade or anything, they are subsidized. We are not subsidized. We only get income from what we bring in, what we get donated, and fundraisers, and then adoption fees for our dogs. A lot of these places are subsidized, so it doesn't really matter what they do, they still get more. And then there's other little things like if they bring in this many dogs, or they have this many impressions, or they have this or that, they can get more. I plan on having quite a few people from shelters and humane societies on here to share their experience with it. But one of the worst things about being down here, which all my other rescuers down here, and I know hundreds, is crossing the border. If you have never crossed the border from Mexico to U.S., specifically in California, which is, I think, the busiest border crossing this side of the world, this hemisphere, whatever it is. The border, imagine you're at a theme park, at an amusement park, and you wait 3 hours to ride the ride, and you get to the very front, you see the ride come along, and you're like, cool, I get the board, and then it parks, the gates are about to open, and then they say, oh, sorry, it's closed. Bye-bye. It's a really bad analogy, but kind of like what it's like. It is a waste of time. Now, I couldn't do what I do if I was in the U.S. unless I was in the middle of nowhere where things were super cheap and I had unlimited fuel and I was a vet and I could do everything myself. I don't have any of those, and I am not a vet. Therefore, I have to have others who specialize in those fields help me out. And I don't know how some places do it. I certainly know some that on the outside it looks like they're very successful, but I know personally, and they have told me personally, like, we're losing money. Now, in my eyes, it's called a non-profit for a reason. I'm a non-profit because there is no profit. Unless you are, unless you're getting your grants, unless you're doing some crazy fundraisers, unless you have a rich benefactor, unless you are subsidized in some way. Those are the ones that are kind of the ones that are the most successful because they have the funds. Now, not throwing shade at anyone. I have I have busted my behind to get to where we are. So is my mom. And we're very proud of what we've become. Where we came from. We started dirt. We started bottom of the barrel. We had 30 dogs in our house before the rescue even started. We were adopting out, and we were basically doing the rescue before we even had the rescue, coming out of our own pockets. Both of us working full time. And so since the rescue started, we have kind of channeled that into the nonprofit and trying to get the funds, trying to do fundraisers, and we have a adoption fee when we adopt out dogs, and we've had really high highs, really low lows, and it's kind of been like a graph. It's very difficult, at least in my experience and from what a lot of people I talk about. It's very difficult to kind of keep that consistent up because there's a ceiling. What that ceiling is, I don't know. I've hit this part. I've hit the bottom. I haven't hit that top. We grew really fast from kind of just doing little adoption events to doing the 40, 50, 60 dog adoption events, transporting them up to Washington. Talk about funds. That was expensive. But at the end of the day, we do everything for the dogs. Now, being here in Mexico also has a drawback of a lot of like my American friends, and by American, I'm just generalizing people who are in the United States, don't necessarily want to come down to Mexico to either see the ranch or come to the fundraisers we down some of the fundraisers we have down here. So we don't really get their support down here. And then a lot of people kind of just rely on the videos and pictures that we do, which we try and do good pictures and videos. That's actually one of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast, was to kind of show what rescue life is like. And I know this is not the most professional looking podcast, but again, starting from the ground, we're gonna build it up slowly but surely. And so we have my ranch down here. That's where we typically have all the biggest dogs, all our big dogs, all our chubby dogs, dogs that were either adopted and returned, which are very few, or dogs that unfortunately just weren't adoptable in the first place, which is very rare. But we have a couple of those, and they're just gonna live with us on the ranch. We have our little dogs. Typically, our littles are with one of our fosters. Also down here in Mexico, a lot of people who have fosters in let's say California, for example, or foster-based rescues where they'll have one dog at 25 different places. So they have 25 different individuals who's looking after one dog, and they have to do all that and get them all resources and all the vet care and everything. So it's not like there's one way to do things. There's multiple ways to do things. For the most part here, most people have a facility where they have all their dogs. Right now I have about 50 dogs on the ranch that we take care of. We feed them, play with them. I'm a little over an acre, and it's fairly narrow but long. It's not really a square, more of a rectangle. And we have one of those tennis ball throwers, so we can throw it from one side to the other, go down, bring it back halfway. Can't they bring it back halfway to, then we kind of have to go halfway out to meet them. Then they walk back with us, and then we throw it, and then they bring it halfway. Still working on the other half. 50%, not too bad. So that's kind of what life like is down here. The border is definitely the biggest pain. Because it's every time you cross, it's almost like a waste of time. It's a waste of time having to wait in the border to cross, and then wait in the border coming back, which there's a lot of construction going on, and there's this and that, and you waste 3, 4, 5 hours a day, which already eats into your not having a lot of time as it is. So I wish I could be in have a beautiful piece of property in Utah or Texas or Montana, or so have the Yellowstone Ranch. Yellowstone Ranch would be awesome, but all my rescues are from Mexico, so then it's taking all the rescues from here all the way up there, and then having to get the vet care up there, and things cost money. And the rescues that have a lot of money for whatever which way, good on them. They're living the dream. We have built up, and we're happy where we are now. Our ranch we've built from the ground up, and it has been a crazy journey. But we're not the only one down here. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of us down here, and we're all trying to see where we fit in. And at the end of the day, all about finding new homes for all our rescues. So if you have a rescue from Mexico, I know a lot of people have them, especially in California, Arizona, all that. Leave a comment down below, and hope to see you in the next one.